Okay, here's our pile of 2x4s. We're going to use these to build a truss. Actually, we're going to build 16 trusses, and we're going to lay them out here on the floor, in this section of floor right here. We're going to lay out a pattern on the floor right here, and then we're going to build these trusses right here on the floor. So there's our pile of 2x4s to build the trusses with. So we're going to get started. Okay, we're starting to lay it out. We've got the first few pieces on the floor, and we're figuring out the dimensions of it. It's going to be a gable style truss. It's going to be 8 feet across the bottom, from there to there, exactly 8 feet. And it's going to go up the sides about 4 feet. Then it's going to come across the top to make a peak. So, on to the next step. Okay, now we've got the 2 top pieces and we're just laying them roughly in there. And we're going to run a tape measure on them. We're going to do some critical measurements here and try to figure out what we have. This first one's going to be the pattern. On all the pieces, what we're going to do is we're going to write down sample. So this first one's going to be the pattern piece. So 8 feet across the bottom. And we're roughly shooting for about 3 feet something to the peak. Because right up in there in the peak, where I'm aiming the camera right now, there's going to be a gusset on the top there. It's going to make a supporting arch. There's also going to be gussets right here. And a gusset right over there. Gussets across the bottom, on these bottom sections too. When we complete each truss section, we're going to have to flip it over and put gussets on both sides. Plywood gussets. I'm building these trusses every 16 inches. Instead of a 24-inch center, I'm going to be putting them at a 16-inch center. So there we go. On to the next step. Okay, we've taken this first piece down here and we've marked it to the floor, and we made nice bright marks with the magic marker on the floor. And we found the center line. I don't know if you can see it. Right there, the center line of the 8 feet. That's exactly at 4 feet. And we've made it square, running up through the center, so we can find the peak. And we've marked the other end. So now on to the next step. Okay, at the peak, now we've got the timbers laid out roughly where we want them. And see the center mark running up through the center. We've got them in line with the center mark. So the center is squared to the bottom to the top. That's most important. We've got just about the right slant we want on the top here. It's probably, I'm just guessing, maybe a 4/12 pitch. 3, maybe 4/12 pitch on the top. And these sides are much steeper, of course. And so we were shooting for, at the top center, we were shooting for 3 feet 8 inches, and it looks like head clearance. And it looks like we're going to have 3 feet 10 inches. So that's good. 2 inches extra head clearance is good. So there we go. There's a truss roughly laid out. So I got to do a couple more measurements. I got to measure from this center right here across to right here, and then the same from over there in that center there across to this center over here. And then I got to line that center up still, and then we'll mark them and then we'll cut them out. So that's the next step. Okay, that was a very simple, very easy truss to lay out. And we've got it all laid out now on the floor, all the sample pieces. Now it's just a matter of repetitive cutting over and over again, taking the sample pieces, cutting 16 pieces, bottom pieces, and cutting I think it's 16, 32 of those, less one, and cutting 32 of those, less one, out of these 2x4s over here. Of course, we'll be cutting them on the compound miter saw. And then we'll have to cut out a swack of gussets, because there's need a gusset for each corner. A plywood gussets on, and need to screw all the gussets on and put glue underneath the gussets. And that top center gusset will be a rather large gusset. So that's the next step.